Welcome back to Omni Garage. So we have just finished making a video on the rinseless wash Clean by Pan, and now what I've got in front of me here is another product, Clean by Pan. This is his sort of detail spray, ceramic spray sealant, etc, etc. What is good about this product is that you can use it in 3 different ways. So you can apply it to a dry surface like a detail spray, where you spray it onto the microfiber and rub it in kind of like you would like a coating. You're going to get sort of 6 to 12 months durability, and it's going to last a long time on there. I wouldn't recommend, and definitely Pan doesn't recommend, to use this all the time like that, because it will start to reject itself. You want to use that periodically, and when that sort of protection starts to diminish, then that's when it's time to apply that. You can use this as a drying aid, and this is typically what Glenn and I would use. We would use it as a drying aid after we've finished our contact wash. The surface is wet, we'd spray a few spritzes onto the microfiber towel and we would dry that down. What that is doing is creating a lubricious surface between the microfiber towel and the paint, so that we would reduce our marring and scratching, and it's also helping us dry the surface. The third way you could do that is that you could spray this onto the wet surface, let it dwell for a little period of time, don't let it dry, and then rinse it off like a spray and sort of rinse type product. You're going to get sort of 6 to 12 months durability out of this product. Again, Pan has sat down with a perfumist, and they have gone through all these random scents, blindfolded them and tested it out, and they've come to the scent of this product. We kind of officially know what it is because Pan released a video on that, but have a smell.
Do you know what's funny? This is the second product that we've tested in a row with pineapple as the main smell to it. It's really good.
So it's pineapple with watermelon with, again, hints of pineapple. So quite pineapple-y. What do YouTubers say? YouTubers, detailing companies go, it's just a fresh, refreshing scent.
I think Pan says it's a fresh tropical scent.
I hate that word. Do you know why I hate that word? Is because when I'm buying the product, I want to know the scent. So kudos to Pan making that video where he went through and smelled all of them, wrote it all down, and then gave it to you what that is, because I think that's really good. There is nothing worse than if you're into a product that wants to smell a certain way than just being turned off by them writing a fresh, pleasant scent at the bottom of the description. So well done, Pan, for that.
I think it's important. This is one of those products. I think there's probably 3 or 4 detailing products where it's really important to have a good scent. Drying aid for me is one of them, because it's kind of signifies the end of the wash process. Same goes with the tire dressing. So like, we like our shampoo and our rinseless wash to smell good, because that's the majority of the process, but we love to have a good smell when it comes to the end parts of the detail. So I think really nice to have that pleasant smell in there. It's going to be interesting to see if it fills the room here as we start to spray it.
So if you've already used this rinseless wash, it's got a sort of similar notes, is on that similar pathway as what that product smells like, because that's also a pineapple based type product. And so we've done a rinseless wash on the vehicle. It's relatively clean. We have got some dry areas. We do have some sort of wetter areas. I'm going to do what we would normally do, spray on the microfiber, wipe it down, and then go for your final buff.
Well, it's not what we'd normally do, is it? Because if we're doing a drying aid, the drying aids that we really enjoy using, we can spray straight on the surface, which isn't
I suppose so. But we're going to spray. Yeah, I see what you mean.
We're going to follow the directions here rather than go out on our own and kind of use it the typical way we would. A couple of spritzes per panel, apparently, because this is very, very stout. And it can be used on any surface, so we're really going to put that to the test right now by seeing how it performs on the glass, and then also some of the plastics. We'll put it on there as well. And I think what's going to be really important for this product for us is that it removes easily. So obviously we have the first towel which we're applying it with. When we come along with the clean microfiber towel to remove any residue left behind, what we're looking for is that it wipes off the surface, doesn't leave any streaking, and is easy to do so. We're not having to buff out too much.
And I think what's also really important here is the humidity and your conditions in which you're applying the product. So we already checked this for the rinseless wash. We're about 65% humidity. Our temperature is, what is it? I can't see mine on here.
It's 19 degrees Celsius right now.
So if we were in a really humid environment, which we are sometimes, we do struggle to remove products, especially when we're getting change of light around to that 5, 6 o'clock at night. Change of light is a real terrible time for us to dry a vehicle. If it was a cold climate, like I know in the US now, it's snowing, it's getting down to sort of 0 degrees, that can also be a struggle for you. So Pan in his videos, that's why he releases the information about his controlled environment. He's got humidity control so that the products are performing at optimum. So We're not too humid here, and that product there just wiped off pretty easily. I don't see too many streaking.
The first thing that I can notice is the smell in this room. You've done very minimal in terms of sprays into that towel, but it's very strong. Like, I can smell that. And streaking wise, I mean, you haven't come along with a towel to remove that yet.
Yeah, I have. I flipped
Oh,
it
you
over.
have. You flipped it. Okay. I was going to say, for no flip, that looks great. There's no streaking. So you do get the streaking, though, on the initial wipe. Like, if you hop out of the light there, I might be able to show kind of what you can expect to see. Very, very difficult, but some light streaking there, and then you're just flipping that towel. Does it feel slick?
Yeah, the second wipe is definitely quite slick. There is a bit of a curing time here that I do know that Pan has written in his description. What is it, 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, or 10 minutes before you should be taking the vehicle out to drive, which is pretty quick for curing. I think something like Bead Maker, what is it, like 4 hours to get a full cure on it? Finding it easy to work with?
Yep, super easy. I just wanted to try it on the glass just to see if I could see any streaking, but it buffs off really cleanly.
I think there might be a slight streak around that area there.
There's one there. Around where?
Maybe like right here.
How's that? I'm going to spray this directly on and see what happens.
So probably, what, 4 spritzes totally? 4 to 5 spritzes? This will be interesting to see how easily this removes and what streaking you get.
Can you see it there? Can you see the product on there?
It's pretty difficult. Can you?
I can see where I've been.
What about on the glass here? Look, I can see a little bit of smearing on the corners of the glass there.
Right, so this is the second wipe. Okay, so it is a little bit harder. You definitely have to chase it more if you're going to spray it directly on, which is not their recommendation.
But this is how we'd traditionally use a drying aid. I mean, I can't see any streaking there after you come along and buff that out. You definitely have
There's some on the glass.
a bit more time.
Can you see it on there?
It's pretty tough. There is a little bit on there. But, I mean, we've applied it in a fashion that...
It'll be interesting to see what it's like on the roof here. So can you see the water spots on there?
Yes.
Oh, not the water spots,
just the water.
the water droplets.
And we do have polymer spots on there as well, which are remnants from the rinseless wash we've just done. So again, you've gone onto the towel directly this time.
So this is the point where we would be, right? So we would have a wet surface from our, drying it with the leaf blower, and we would get like this sort of situation going on where you get your first wipe, you get that sort of smeary water look, and this is where you want to see how easy it is to remove, because it's at this point where you chase streaks on some products, correct?
Correct. I mean, the streaking that you have there looks like it's flashing away
It
reasonably
does
quick.
have that flashing sort of appearance to it, eh?
Yeah, like if you didn't remove that bit at the back there.
Right, so this is the second wipe now.
I'm looking straight down the line of the roof there, and I can't
I
see
think
any
for a
streaking.
product that's going to be as stout as it claims, so 6 to 12 months durability, you do run that risk of some products where they are quite hard to remove. They require quite a lot of buffing off, and you can chase and you can chase and you can chase. So I think the wipe off situation here is actually really nice. I'm not chasing too hard. I'm pretty happy with that. So what Glenn and I are using all the time is Armour Detail Supply Amplified. Now what we're going to do is we're going to compare the slickness between ADS and pans just to feel what that slickness feels like. We're not going to be able to test any durability between these two. We're not going to be able to do anything like that, but I just want to feel the slickness, because how do we know that one's slicker than the other? Well, I'm going to do a side-by-side test on the hood, spray both onto the microfiber, and just feel what kind of response we get.
So we've got 2 identical microfibers here as well to control the test. And we're spraying both straight onto the towel as well. Not normally how we use Amplify. So what is that? Left hand pan, right hand Amplify.
No, this is Amplify.
Oh yeah.
And that's pan. And Amplify feels slightly slicker. But then let me feel what it feels like to do the second wipe. So Glenn's going to do the same thing here. Feel each and see what he thinks.
Yeah, this one's slightly slicker.
Which is pans.
Yeah.
You reckon pans are slicker?
A little bit.
Okay, flip it over, see what you think on the second wipe.
I think they're on par there. Like, it's very close, and what you have to realize here is this is a very subjective test as well. So obviously Glenn just did that and he leaned one way, I've done it and I've leaned the other way. So I think it's not night and day. Like, it's not like, oh wow, that is amazing versus that one, but this can be very subjective. I think they're both.
They're both
equally
pretty
slick.
Well, that's pretty good, because
Yeah.
we think the Amplify is one of the slickest products around. So if you buy this product, you won't be disappointed in the slickness, because it is right up there.
Yeah, I'm getting some overspray here. I've got to be a little bit careful, but I'm really impressed with the...
What does Overspray look like? So spray some on there. We'll let it dry and
so
see
if
what
I do
happens.
this, okay? So
Overspray there.
I'm going to do 2 things with this overspray. You've got a big patch of overspray. Let me just lightly wipe part of it. Can you see the streaking there?
Yep.
Can you see the streaking start to flash? Very slowly, but it's flashing. Like, that's what's impressing me about this product, because when you get to some of the really stout spray sealants, and I mean, Pan, it's all over the website. This is advertised as a very stout sealant that's not even going to bond to itself if you do it too regularly. It's flashing, like it's flashed away on that right hand side.
Because I saw Eddie,
impressive.
what Eddie did is he compared his drying aid, or his, ceramic spray, to DIY to pans, and he washed it like 10 times. He hit it with heaps of chemicals, and he saw what kind of chemical resistant, how many times you could typically wash it, and pans was kind of the winner out of all of that.
Yep.
So that's quite interesting. That
Do you want me to remove that overspray now?
should we see if it dries, see what happens.
Okay. And we do have some streaking. Come over to this angle and just have a look at what we do have left of that streaking. I said it flashed away completely. It hasn't flashed away completely. So we definitely do have some streaking there, but we can come back to that and see.
It's quite hard to
left.
show, but oh yeah, there you go. You can see
Yeah.
the streaking there, and then you can see where the product is still on the surface. So let's see what happens to that streakiness. We'll let it dry. We'll keep drying around the car, and we'll come back to you.
We walked away from the panel for about 5 minutes. We're going to have to come from this direction here.
So you can see all the streaking there, and then you can see the spray stuff just there.
So what's going to be interesting here is, can we easily
Shall I see what happens with
remove
the
this
wipe?
now? Yeah, just the wipe.
Nope. I can feel it on there. Still there?
Yep.
So let's reactivate the product. How's that?
It's looking a bit better after the reactivation. Little bit of streaking toward the scoop. And just watch the overspray just down here. It's a little section. But yeah, the reactivation there worked well. So I think if you end up with streaking from this product,
Like you missed a spot?
yep, you can come back behind. I mean, we're probably 6-7 minutes later now, and we've managed to just reactivate it by doing a couple of additional sprays in the towel and coming back along. So you're not quite at the point where you need to pull out some polish or some compound or panel wipe or a razor or anything like that. That's done a really good job at leveling that out. Happy with that?
Yep. So there you have it. We've gone around this vehicle and we've dried it using the Clean by Pan ceramic spray sealant. So we use it as like we would like a drying aid, where we sprayed it onto a surface that was dry in some areas but wet in others. We sprayed it onto the microfiber. We use it as our lubricating barrier between the microfiber and the paint, and we dried the surface. We found that when we did the slickness test between Amplify and this product, slickness is relatively the same. It's probably had about 10 minutes of curing time, and I've gone back with my hand and it feels really similar. I think like all products, there's a few areas where you do chase a little streaking, but that streaking is no more than any other product. I feel like when it dried, it managed to buff off pretty well when we reactivated it. So I think from that point of view, this is a really good drying aid. It's a really good ceramic spray sealant, and I think you can't go wrong with this product.
I think having a play with this though, it's probably opened up a wider discussion for Glenn and I around the need for a product like this. Now, I think we've put this more into a category of well, exactly what it is, right? A ceramic spray sealant. So we've kind of thinking of it less as a drying aid, more as a product that you'd apply to a vehicle to potentially tide you over if you're not quite ready to ceramic
like a
coat
car that wasn't ceramic coated. You wanted, I'm going to polish and I'm going to do a full paint correction in 6 to 12 months time, and that's when I'm going to do it. You would put this on and give you a little bit of safety, a little bit of protection for that time. Is that what you'd think?
That's kind of the route that I'm going down with this, although the benefit to this product is that it can be used in a wet application.
Yeah.
So you can use it if your car's wet, spraying it directly on the microfiber towel, or you can spray it directly on the wet panel and water activate it on a regular basis. But I think it's probably opened up a bit of a...
Well, before we go down there, this product is fantastic, right?
Yeah.
It's really good. We had a good experience with it, but you can now take us down there. So this has nothing to do with Pan's product, but this is something we were talking about.
I think it's more that, when do you use a drying aid? So if we just call this a drying aid, when would you typically use one? Now for us, it's pretty much after every wash.
Yeah.
Full contact wash with a pressure washer and also a rinseless wash. Now for us, a drying aid is an important product to have when we do a rinseless wash, because generally we'll have polymer spots left behind. We do need to make sure that we have something that we can use to create some lubrication on the surface to safely dry the car. But in our traditional wash environment, we're using a pressure washer with deionized water, putting out 0 parts per million, and we are drying the car with a leaf blower pretty much till it's bone dry.
90%, I would say.
And then we're coming along using a drying aid.
And the reason why we're using that drying aid is because we want to use our microfiber towel to get rid of the few water spots that are here or there. We use a drying aid to create lubricity between the microfiber and the paint so that we reduce our ability of marring and scratching. That's the point where you're going to have the most potential to put scratches into the paint, is during the drying phase. So we use that to give us a little bit of insurance that we're going to try and reduce that ability.
It's less about adding gloss to the car. It's more about just getting those last water spots. But I think the argument here is,
well, what's the point?
Those water spots are DI, so they're going to disappear. So
yeah. What is the point of using something so stout like a ceramic spray sealant as a drying aid when you are only using this as a lubricating agent, where you might as well go and use something like bead maker? That's going to give you 1 to 3 weeks at max of durability on there, but it doesn't matter because Glenn and I are going through every week and doing this. And so are you best to have something like bead maker that's not going to provide that protection so much and longevity, but it's just that barrier of lubrication? Or are you best to come and find a product that's so stout and so like over the top for what we're using it for? Is this still enough? Like, so put that in the comments. Tell us what your thoughts are, and tell us, where are we using this product too much for our drying aid application, or is this fine? Or should we be lowering, not necessarily the degree of product, but should we be lowering the protection of the product that we're using?
or the frequency that we're
by
using.
something like a bead maker, not frequency.
Oh no, not frequency, stoutness.
Stoutness, like a bead maker, like Obsessed Garage's drying aid, like Strip Stream, something like that. That's more involved with the lubricating part of it, rather than actually adding real stout protection like something like this. Amplify is probably somewhere in between those two, right? Not quite stout like 6 to 12 months, but a bit longer than that, but not as weak as sort of something like bead maker.
I'd be keen to hear from anyone with a black car as well. What are you doing there? Because obviously taking this part of the process out, if you're using DI water, you reduce the potential of having towel marring on the surface as well. So if you've got a black car, really keen to hear your thoughts. If you've got any color car, keen to hear your thoughts in general around what your process is, and if you think it is necessary to be doing this, and just keen to hear what your frequency is when it comes to a drying aid product or a ceramic spray sealant.
Not frequency, what are you using as your drying aid?
And frequency.
But who cares about frequency? Because you're using your drying aid every time you dry your car. But are you using a stout product for your drying process, or are you using something not as stout? I think
if we back it up as well, an important thing to say there is with our contact washers, we're talking on a ceramic coated car. So we're talking where there is already protection, that long-term protection on there, and this isn't your sole protection on the car. Obviously, if this is your sole protection, yeah, look, you are going to want to make sure that it's as stout as possible. But in that condition, pressure washer, deionized water, ceramic coated car, that's probably where it's like, do you dial it back?
Or are people more wanting to use this as like a sacrificial layer on top of the sacrificial on top of the sacrificial? Like, are people more worried about using this as more overkill type protection as their drying aid? Interested to find out what people's thoughts are, because Glenn and I, we don't really know.
Diminishing value at some point, there's got to be.
Yeah, but if this product is so stout and it doesn't start to bond to itself over time, it starts to build up and clog up, then you probably getting an issue there as well. I don't know.
Potentially. I'm really keen to hang out in the comments on this video and just get some general thoughts. But I think wrapping up this product here, like, who is this for? I think that, look, it's a great standalone drying aid if you want to use it like that. I also think this product really sits in that category where you've purchased a new car, as Glenn said before, you're not ready to put a ceramic coating on there. You do want the UV protection, you do want the chemical protection, you want some good water behavior. I think this is a product that you...
This is like a C2V3 by G10. This is like, not quite probably, but like a can coat by Geon. This is also not like Amplify the ADS do, but they do another stout version of it. That's quite up there. And so, yeah, I also like that you can use this 3 different ways if you use the instructions there. But that's it from Omni Garage. Drop us a comment. Let's blow up these comments. Let's have a great discussion around this product, and let us know your thoughts. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.